East Africa's food systems are increasingly vulnerable to the impacts of unexpected climate shocks. Across the region, 90% of farms rely on rainfall irrigation, and more than 80% of the farms do not receive year-round reliable rainfall, meaning that to produce crops, farmers must time their planting and harvesting with local weather patterns. Unexpected and extreme weather-fueled events, such as droughts, floods, extreme temperatures, and pests, can have devastating effects on East Africa's farmers. But climate change is not only threatening farmers' ability to reliably grow crops, it also has dramatic pass-through effects through the entire market system. As crop production becomes increasingly unreliable, prices also follow suit. For farmers, uncertainty in the latest prices affects whether they sell at the market or take the lower risk price at the farm gate. For small-scale traders and aggregators, many of whom are women, not knowing if the prices have shifted can put them at risk of having to sell their stock at a loss. When deciding to warehouse their crops, not knowing the future trends of the market gives farmers few incentives to store their goods in hopes of better prices. Poor knowledge of the current market price for agricultural commodities raises uncertainties about the value of warehouse inventory and access to financial services. Market volatility also increases the risk for farmers that rely on debt financing, who can't accurately calculate their exposure and the risks of taking loans. Naturally, climate and market uncertainties mean that farmer financing interest rates must reflect a higher risk for lenders, reducing access to credit for many farmers. The issue of market volatility also affects the support work that practitioners working in food systems development do. It affects the baseline measurements that rely on historically consistent data. It affects basket of goods valuations, and it impacts the accuracy of early warning systems that rely on historical data collection. Market uncertainties are a huge issue for more than 175 million East Africans who rely on agriculture for employment, whose livelihoods increasingly are based on their ability to monitor the food system and adapt to market shocks, rapid shifts in supply chains, and unexpected weather events. Right now, not knowing the accurate price of their commodity at the market, the future trends of the market, or using outdated market monitoring represents a critical blind spot for East Africa's food market system, which turns the volatile impacts of climate change into a driver of poverty, market inefficiency, and food waste. It's against this backdrop that we set out to create Sauti Market Insights. It started by framing this problem as a data uncertainty problem, that farmers, traders, finance institutions, and development sector practitioners don't have the necessary data to adapt to the impacts of climate change. When we frame it as a data uncertainty problem, we unlock many of the approaches and advantages that the newest innovations in AI, big data processing, and predictive analytics are bringing to similar challenges. We have developed a market intelligence platform that provides real-time price monitoring, short and long-term price forecasts, seasonal baseline trends, market risk assessments, logistics planning, and market systems volatility metrics for East Africa's most popular agricultural commodities across 5 countries. Most of the work goes on behind the scenes, where we've developed algorithms that are always ingesting the newest data from our ground truth market monitoring platforms, satellite weather updates, and climate early warning forecasts. The data is then validated and processed in our large market network models, which produce the local market forecasts and evaluations. We then use generative AI to produce simplified summaries of the processed data. Our algorithms are always running, which makes it the fastest and most up-to-date monitoring and predictive data analytics you can find, with the largest geographic and commodity coverage on the current market. Each market prediction is powered by millions of data points, taking in the patterns of the weather, historical trends, patterns in neighboring markets, and patterns in substitutable goods. This makes our models more accurate and responsive to shocks, and ultimately more relevant to the actors in East Africa's food system. Join us as we empower traders, farmers, and the organizations that support them with the market intelligence they need to adapt to climate shocks and ultimately reduce the uncertainties in East Africa's agricultural value chains.